On February 3, 2026, a quiet panic began on Wall Street. Software stocks began to slide in a pattern nobody had anticipated. Within 48 hours, $285 billion simply vanished. By the middle of the month, the damage reached $2 trillion. This sudden market collapse quickly earned a name, the SaaSpocalypse. Equity trader Jeffrey Favuza described it as get-me-out style selling. Investors were dumping enterprise software shares without looking at the price. The iShares software fund plunged 35% from its recent peak. Microsoft lost over $450 billion in a single month. Salesforce shed more than 25% of its market valuation. Atlassian fell 73% as seat purchases dropped for the first time. Monday.com crashed 77% from its 52-week high. Even Figma plummeted 80% in the wake of the sell-off. These were not speculative startups, they were the backbone of corporate America. Yet their entire business model was suddenly called into question. To find the origin of this crash, we have to look back. In November 2025, Anthropic made a highly aggressive move. They released a new model and cut API pricing by 67%. This drastic price cut prompted millions of developers to adopt their model. It set the stage for an entirely new kind of automation. Then came the pivotal day of January 12, 2026. Anthropic officially launched a research preview inside its desktop app. They called this new autonomous agentic system Claude Cowork. The catalyst for this destruction was not a major competitor. It was an application built by just 4 engineers in 10 days. The 4 engineers did not even write the underlying software code themselves. Instead, they used Anthropic's new terminal tool called Claude Code. Claude Code generated virtually 100% of the new application. This self-improving development loop allowed a tiny team to build incredibly fast. Within Anthropic's own offices, the results of this tool were clear. Internal metrics showed a 67% increase in merged pull requests. Engineers were shipping code nearly twice as fast as before. The tool eliminated the slow, manual process of debugging and compiling. Boris Cherny, the creator and head of Claude Code, explained the process. Cherny is a former principal engineer at Meta and TypeScript author. He admitted that all his code is now written by the artificial intelligence. He predicted the very title of software engineer will soon fade away. Product head Kat Wu noted that everyone is now effectively an engineer. Anyone with an idea can now build a functioning software prototype. This shift instantly destroyed the economic barriers of software development. Traditionally, building a new corporate tool took months of human labor. It routinely cost between $50,000 and $500,000. Now startups use Claude Code to build matching tools for far less. They spend between $500,000 and $20,000 to finish. These new companies reach product market fit over 2 times faster. The competitive advantage of giant software engineering teams has evaporated. This shift is changing how capital flows in Silicon Valley. Venture capitalists are realizing they no longer need to fund large engineering teams. A well-funded startup can now be beaten by a tiny engineering team. This realization triggered a sudden withdrawal of support for legacy software. Anthropic initially restricted Claude Cowork to subscribers paying $200 monthly. Just 4 days later, they lowered the price to $20. They wanted to secure complete market dominance as quickly as possible. Then, on January 30, they quietly published 11 specialized workflow plugins. They uploaded these highly targeted automation tools directly to GitHub. These plugins targeted the most profitable niches in enterprise software. They targeted legacy sectors like corporate finance and legal affairs. One plugin handled legal compliance review and non-disclosure agreement triage. Another plugin automated financial modeling and sales pipeline workflows. The market reaction to these plugins was immediate and brutal. These declines were not temporary dips on a chart. They represented a fundamental reassessment of how software companies make money. If a plugin can review an NDA, companies do not need legal software licenses. The entire value proposition of these niche tools evaporated in hours. LegalZoom crashed nearly 20% almost immediately after the release. Thomson Reuters suffered its worst single-day decline of over 15%. Legacy software providers realized their core products were being bypassed. Claude Cowork did not act like a standard conversational chatbot. It was designed to operate as an autonomous digital coworker. It runs locally, controlling files, browsers, and application integrations. It executes complex, multi-step knowledge work without human intervention. This capability directly threatens the foundation of modern business software. Most enterprise software companies sell their products on a per-seat basis. They make more money when their customers hire more people. But if an agentic system can do the work, headcounts will shrink. This dynamic is known as seat compression, and it is happening now. If 10 digital agents replace 100 humans, software needs collapse. A customer who bought 100 licenses now only needs 10. This is not just a problem for software sales teams. It is a structural crisis for the entire corporate world. For decades, the growth of the white-collar workforce matched the growth of software. Every new hire meant a new set of software subscriptions to buy. Now, that direct correlation has been completely and permanently broken. The legacy giants are caught in a brutal economic trap. They cannot build true autonomous agents without destroying their own revenue. For 18 months, software firms tried to avoid this threat. 80% of legacy companies added basic artificial intelligence features. They built chat sidebars on top of old database designs. But these systems still require humans to log in and click buttons. True agentic systems bypass the human user interface entirely. They communicate directly with APIs and internal databases. Versal chief executive Guillermo Rauch summed up the threat. Rauch asked if traditional software could ever move as fast as agents. He warned that the velocity of generation is killing legacy models. Anthropic's competitors rushed to respond to the shift. On February 5, OpenAI announced a system called Frontier. OpenAI designed Frontier to act as a semantic operating system. It treats existing software like Salesforce as a mere data silo. The application becomes a background database for agents to harvest. Users no longer need to look at the legacy interface. On the exact same day, Anthropic launched their Claude Opus 4.6 model. This model features an expanded context window of 1 million tokens. It can hold roughly 750,000 words in active memory. That is enough to process entire codebases or corporate financial histories. The model can even spin up self-coordinating teams of agents. Anthropic executive Scott White promoted the business readiness of the tool. White stated the model starts to replace highly expensive specialized software. Meanwhile, Anthropic began fundraising at a valuation of $900 billion. They negotiated a funding round of up to $50 billion. Legacy software was bleeding while the infrastructure providers captured the value. NVIDIA chief executive Jensen Huang offered a clear explanation. Huang stated the IT sector is shifting to a token consumption model. Instead of buying software tools, businesses will rent digital experts. On April 3, Anthropic completed its cross-platform desktop integration. They officially rolled out Claude Cowork to all Windows users. Now, the tool was available to almost every corporate workstation globally. Large corporations were already moving quickly to adopt these systems. In May, consulting giant PwC announced a major deal with Anthropic. PwC plans to deploy Claude Code and Claude Cowork globally. They established a joint center of excellence to support the rollout. PwC is certifying 30,000 of its own professionals on the system. In insurance underwriting, the systems compressed 10-week cycles to 10 days. What used to require days of human analysis is completed in minutes. This efficiency gain comes with a severe cost to the workforce. Tech executives argue that workers will transition into high-level builders. They claim humans will simply manage large teams of digital agents, but the near-term math of this transition does not add up. If one builder can do the work of 5 human coordinators, the other 4 jobs simply cease to exist. This represents a severe threat to the white-collar labor market. Experienced professionals in law, finance, and marketing are now vulnerable. The transition is moving much faster than previous technology shifts. Companies are no longer looking for smart assistants that answer questions. They are looking for systems that perform autonomous labor without hand-holding. This shift from search bars to active execution is a silent revolution. It changes the entire balance of power in the technology industry. The companies that build the models are now capturing all the value. In June, a talent exodus highlighted the intensity of the race. 4 top artificial intelligence researchers left Google for its rivals. This high-profile team included engineer Noam Shazir and scientist John Jumper. The departures erased nearly $250 billion from Google's value. The fight for agentic dominance has become an existential struggle. By July, some commentators suggested the panic was overdone. The Financial Times noted the SaaSpocalypse was temporarily deferred. Large enterprises move slowly when deploying new internal systems. Security reviews and legacy integrations take months to complete, but the structural shift toward agentic software is already locked in. The underlying architecture of the tech sector has fundamentally changed. The era of seat-based business software is coming to an end. A tiny team of engineers proved how fragile these giants really are. If 4 people can build a tool that devalues an industry, then no software company is safe from sudden disruption, and millions of white-collar workers are left waiting for the next deployment.